that damn tumor destroyed.
Every day for 6 months, Garrett fought his private war, until one night there was nothing to fight. The enemy seemed to have disappeared.
And all of a sudden, we come out of hyperspace and there's no tumor there.
He checked again, this time with more starships, but still no sign. So the next day he went into hospital for a CAT scan, and they waited with some anxiety for the results.
Doctor goes, well, there's no concussion and the tumor's gone. Mom jumps out of that chair. The tumor's gone? Scares the doctor half to death, and kind of fades back and says, well, yeah, the tumor's gone. And by the way, did you have it surgically removed? And of course, there was no surgery, and the only thing that was left was a little white spot of calcification that I had actually seen in my visualization. That's cool.
Garrett is now 29 years old and a scanner for the Civil Air Patrol in Kansas, a fitting sequel to his own starship fantasy. Now he searches for downed aircraft and helps to rescue flyers who are lost or injured.
When I was a child, I was fighting for my own life. This time I'm fighting for everybody else's. I think that's one thing that I came out of the whole experience with cancer with, is that lives are important. I want to save lives. I want to be out there. I want to help as much as I can.
Garrett's visualization of white blood cells as starships helped him to fight back against his brain tumor. Now that same technique is being used in a computer game to assist children like 6-year-old Julie to control her own brainwaves. The jet engines are linked to an EEG, and they fire only when her brain is producing a particular frequency. Normally, we don't know anything about this. The brain operates at anything from 1 to 22 cycles per second, depending on what we are doing at the time. But for people with neurological problems, it can be useful to produce more of the restful middle frequencies. Julie is using this technique, called neurofeedback, to help her brain relax. The spaceship to which she is connected only fires its engines when her brainwaves lie between 8 and 12 cycles per second. When she strays outside this range, the game stops. The only way to get it going again is to wait until her brain settles on the right frequency once more. And each time she is made aware of this connection, it becomes easier to make it happen again. For Julie, this is still a game. But by playing it, she exercises her mind in a manner that changes the whole way her brain works. At Manchester University in England, they've discovered that just thinking about exercising could help to keep us fit.
Right, Andy, if you want to put the...
Sports psychologist Dave Smith talks an athlete through an imaginary run while monitoring his heartbeat.
Your 200 meters, so it's very, very important that you give an absolute maximum effort here. I want you to run as fast as you possibly can. On your marks, get set, go.
For an athlete conditioned to respond to starting orders, the words alone are sufficient to start adrenaline flowing and to persuade the body that an effort will soon be required. Instantly, the heart rate climbs. But after about 15 seconds, the brain realizes that the race is not real and turns off most of the machinery. But enough excitement still seeps through from the brain to the body to raise the athlete's heart rate by a total of about 20 beats per minute, even though he has never moved a muscle. Mental preparation is obviously a vital part of physical fitness, but Dave Smith goes even further. He believes that muscle tone can be improved by thought alone, and to prove this, he set up an experiment involving the human body's least used muscle, the one that moves our little finger. One group of subjects, exercising twice a week, tries to strengthen that muscle alone by pressing the little finger repeatedly against the side of a metal tube. The other group are encouraged, while using the same apparatus, to do nothing but think about performing the same finger exercise.
Imagining performing the strength training does promote significant strength gains. The results aren't actually as good as actually performing the task, but they are significant. Specifically, in our last study, we found that individuals who actually did the strength training improved their strength by about 30%, and individuals who imagined performing it improved by about 16%.
So, could this mean the end of exercise? Could we become fit just by thinking about it?
The results clearly aren't as good as actually going out and performing exercise. However, what they do mean is that, for example, when people are unable to exercise due to illness or injury, they may obtain some of the benefits from imagining performing the exercise.
If the mind can give the body a virtual workout that is nevertheless half as good as the real thing, what else is possible? At Georgetown University in Washington, Candace Pert believes that thought on its own can also have a direct effect on the immune system. She has discovered chemical connections between the mind and the body, and these prove that it is impossible to have a thought of any kind that doesn't change you physically.
Every time we have a thought, a mood shift, a feeling, it's not that it's just happening up above your head in your brain. It's really happening simultaneously all over what I've actually called your body-mind. Chemicals are released, and these little molecules are diffusing all over the body through the bloodstream, binding to receptors, thus having the potential to change everything from a rate of digestion to the size of a tumor.
Professor Pert believes that her chemicals are what make it possible for someone like Garrett Porter to open up a channel between his mind and his body and to think his tumor away.
Consciousness can actually create the physical molecules, can change the physical molecules. This is very radical. This is very big. This is as big as realizing that the Earth revolves around the sun.
It seems there is no real division between the mind and the body. Both work together as part of the human whole, and changes in one influence the other. Nothing is all in the mind, or just physical. We seem to be extraordinary mixtures of mind and matter, able almost to use one to create the other. Each one of us certainly has the power, and science has now given us the means to take personal responsibility for our own well-being. We can control our own pain, look after our own fitness, and take drug-free action against infection. In Dr. Escudero's surgery, Rosa has been on the operating table for 20 minutes. And if her operation is like all the others here, she should suffer from no post-operative complications. Rosa seems none the worse for her experience, and very happy to leave the theatre, not on a trolley, but on her own 2 feet. She also leaves the hospital immediately and strolls home with her husband as though nothing has happened. Nothing, that is, except another extraordinary natural mystery.